Hi, Nisi. Good morning. Good morning. Greetings. How you all doing this morning? Uh, Good morning. That's wonderful. Watching from Bamison. For anyway, greetings for all of you that are tuning in this morning. Thank you, Bills, for joining in. Thank you, Nisi, for joining in. Greetings to you all. How you doing? I am very thankful, and I am very sincere for all the work you guys are doing. And I want to thank all of those who are. I will be broadcast live on my Facebook and on my YouTube as well. It is imperative that we all be in collaborations. But before I proceed today, I want to take a moment to give our severe condolence to the 41st President of the United States, uh, George W. H. Bush. He was the 41st president of this wonderful great nation. He just passed away, and he's a wonderful person. All we remember about president of the 41st president of the United States that he was the first person to have appointed an African American, Collins Powell, to the Secretary of State. That is the most high level here in the United States. Collins Powell was a four-star general of the United States Army, or what is the Army or Air Force, whatever. Anyway, he was appointed four-star. He was a four-star general, and in 2001 he was appointed the first Secretary of State from 2001 to 2005. And so, President of the United States just he's passed away, and we are sincere condolence to the family. And that is the most important. That is the news that I just bring to you. I want to take a moment to thank all of you, and again, thank you, Gilbert. Good morning, and thank watching from Las Vegas. Good. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. And this Gilbert just joined us from YouTube. And greetings and Apple Paul from Facebook. Ambazonia Greatness also just joined us from Facebook. I want to take a moment to thank all of you for all the effort and that all of us are collaborating for the freedom of the people of Southern Cameroon, the Federal Republic of Ambazonia. So I want to take a moment to for those in very important news that I almost forgot. Hey, if you live around the Dallas community, if you live around the Dallas community, I want this message is for you that all the Dallas community, the Forward community, and the Denton community. If you live around here, then today you must be the acting president of the Federal Republic of Ambazonia. Uh, Dr. Sako will be attending a meeting this evening in Galan Convention Center. What is it? The Galan Convention. Sorry, let me be clear for what I am reporting. And so it's imperative that you should be there for all of us that are in Dallas, Denton, and Fort Worth area. Or if you are living any beyond those areas, you are welcome to be here to have your question answered. Dr. Sako and Ebenezer Akwanga, those two wonderful men, wonderful people, they will be here this evening. Today is December 1st, 2018. Today is December 1st, 2018. Dr. Sako is here and in the Dallas Denton Fort Worth community. And I will post the information, the address. Of course, you maybe have seen the information. So if you're going to be there, make sure that you are there. Thank all of you. Dr. Sako, the acting president, you all know that our interim president, Ayuk Seko, was adopted by La Republique du Cameroun, which they do not have any authority for the detention of the Anglophone, the Southern Cameroon leadership. And La Republique do not have any authority in whatsoever to detain the the interim president of the Southern Cameroon territory. And so that is why we are here to let the world know and that we are continuing to persuade and every action necessary, and every international community that we need to bring on board to make sure that our freedom, the freedom of the Southern Cameroon territory, the former British trusteeship territory, that is currently being invaded by the neighboring country, La Republique du Cameroon. So all of us in the diaspora, that is our goal, that is our objective. We must empower, we must stand with the world community, that we must eradicate La Republique from the Southern Cameroon territory. So that is why we will be consulting international community, including the United States government and every arm of the United States government, that action must be taken to ensure that we get freedom for the people of Southern Cameroon. Our people cannot be living in the forest. We're going to be dwelling more on this subsequently. But first of all, I want to let the Dallas community, those in the Fort Worth, Denton, and any environ within the surrounding, that Dr. Sako will be in a meeting this evening, and I can assure you that most of your questions that you may have, he might have time to answer some of the questions this evening. This is Fundo Daniel speaking here from the great state of Texas, here in the United States. So if you live around this Fort Worth, Denton, and Dallas area. So this evening, Dr. Sako will be here and he will be answering some of the questions or burning questions that you may have. Um, All right. Okay. But anyway, Frank, good morning, and from Togo, that's wonderful, Frank, and thank you, and greetings. Those are people that I on the YouTube. They just greetings and greetings to all of you for tuning in this wonderful morning. And I thank you, Jerry Archer, for joining in. Thank you, Tari, for joining in. Thank you, Chitus, for joining in. It's a wonderful having you guys and all of you that are so dear for this liberation of the Southern Cameroon territory, the former British trusted territory. So I am here, I am your host, speaking here from the great state of Texas about the ongoing genocide. And so therefore we are asking the United States government, the CIA, and the authorization from the United States Congress. It is imperative that we cannot ignore that the people cannot have a freedom. So, but let's answer the question. Do you know the decree that signed yesterday by the neighboring country, La République du Cameroun? It's a big blow for La République to realize that they no longer be able to host the African Cup of Nations. So it's a big blow. In order to counteract, they signed a stupid decree, a decree that is not even merit. I can imagine how frustrated that guy. First of all, he's suffering from mental psychosis with depressive disorder. Paul Biya is suffering from psychosis, mental disorder. And so I have been speaking about these problems, although people seem not to pay close attention. Paul Biya is suffering from psychosis, mental depression. He can't remember the daughter's name. He can't remember the wife's name. He doesn't remember his own personal room. So they have to self-direct him to where he was and where he goes to. And he cannot even, those you see him attempt to sign a signature, he doesn't know how to sign the same signature because they use auto stamp. For those who are not familiar of what is auto stamp, auto stamp is a designated stamp that has been made so that they can be signed in the absence when the president is not. And he can be anywhere, people will believe that he actually signed. So that's the auto stamp they're using by those cliques surrounding Paul, yeah, claiming that he did actually sign it. There is suffering from mental psychosis with depressive disorder. And so therefore, he can't even recall exactly what is happening within his environment. So whatever action you see being taken, it's not actually him himself doing the action. It is actually people surrounding him making those decisions on his behalf, which he's suffering from psychosis. So when he learned that the African governing body has suspended Cameroon from hosting the 2019 African Cup of Nations. And that is why he was deeply frustrated. Although he can't recall exactly why he's frustrated, because he's mentally unstable. On his decree, which he signed, forming forming whatever he called it establish a national disarmament and demobilization. Why will you dearmament and demobilization is something you never created? That is quite amazing. Why will you disarm some people that you never created them in the first place? This is Southern Cameroon. The Southern Cameroon has their own president and interim president and the acting president. Therefore, Biya's decree rested in La Republique and do not cross the boundary of the people of Southern Cameroon. Paul Biya's decree rested in La Republique and do not cross in the Southern Cameroon territory. The Southern Cameroon territory, the Federal Republic of Amazonia, is a different nation now. And therefore, any decree signed by La Republique is not applicable in the Southern Cameroon territory. Is that clean and clear? La Republique has no authority over the people of Southern Cameroon. The people of Southern Cameroon, now the Federal Republic of Amazonia, is a nation that has no relationship with La Republique. And so therefore, by signing such a decree, rested within La Republique and do not cross the Southern Cameroon. And I have spoken yesterday, or a few days ago, that the Mongol bridge need to be immediately disengaged. The Mongol bridge, my own decree is to disengage the Mongol bridge from La Republique and the Santa bridge that link La Republique and to the Southern Cameroon territory. The Mongol bridge, my own decree, break the bridge that link La Republique in the littoral and the southwest province, and the Mongol and the Santa bridge that link the western province and the Southern Cameroon, and any other bridge that link the Southern Cameroon need to be terminated and broken to separate officially that we will no longer be dealing with La Republique from now and henceforth. There is asking to lay arm. Has he asked his own military to pull out of the Southern Cameroon territory? He should first of all pull out of Southern Cameroon territory completely, immediately, within immediate effect. Dislodge all the governors he appointed in Southern Cameroon territory, because we are capable to rule ourselves. We do not need La Republique to appoint governors of La Republique as though we have never seen the four walls of education, as though we can't capable of ruling ourselves. We are not capable. We haven't seen the four wall of education. Because we haven't seen the four wall of education, we must rely on La Republique appointed officials and to detect on behalf of the people of Southern Cameroon how we should be governed. No, Mr. Biya, you are a dead person. It's a matter of time and how soon you are going to be departed, and including your entourage that is carrying atrocity in the Southern Cameroon territory. We will never succumb to any of your policy that you are implementing, because we are a nation and we have a geographical boundary that governs our people, and our people rest on our amber defense system, and we will continue to reinforce and to ensure that our people are well protected against the enemy of La Republique. We will no longer be romancing with you in any time soon. Whoever you have, you call the prime minister. That is a dustbin in the Southern Cameroon. We do not recognize that said individual. He is not represent any Southern Cameroon, neither in any geographical location. Our people is capable of govern, and not by your decree, because we are capable to sign our own decree, and that govern and inspire and effectively keep our people stronger more than ever before. So if you think that you have decree, you will sign and disarm. First of all, sign and disarm your own military and let them walk out of the Southern Cameroon territory. We will not be romancing with La Republique. Fellow brothers and sisters, I can assure you that we are at war. The enemy is planning ahead. But unfortunately, we are the smartest being on the African continent. We are the smartest being on the African continent. We will never, in any circumstances, be romancing with this system. So I am just speaking that we must dedicate ourselves and be prepared, ready for any eventuality. Because La Republique, I have asked every target area, be prepared and never go to sleep without having a night watchman. A night watchman is someone that in the marine navigation, they have a night watchman. The night watchman monitor, make sure that the navigation is taking a good course in the high sea. And so therefore, because the people of Southern Cameroon, we have been always peaceful, loving people, but they have taken advantage of our peace loving. And so now We are prepared that we are at war. And so in every marine navigation, as I earlier said, we must have a night watchman. The night watchman shouldn't sleep while those are resting and should be prepared that we are at war. And the enemy, La Republique, is preparing for more. But however, this is the momentum that we must either face the enemy squarely and brutally and deal with them squarely and brutally. If you see any of La Republique agents in our soil, remember that they are our enemy. We will not lay our arms, and while our mother and children are sexually abused by the neighboring country, La Republique military, that are currently invading the southern Cameroon. When you see young girls, you remember the young girls, she's 17 years old. She has a child that she just delivered. A 17 years old that just delivered a child. And she on her way to pick up some food stuff in a store. On her dismay, she realized that she was immediately picked up and taken to a near back of a house and raped by scourge of military of La Republique. Imagine a young girl that just leaves children, her young child, that she just delivered. And imagine that a scourge of La Republique military choose to rape her without recognizing, without any remorse. Without any remorse. A young 17-year-old girl that just delivered her child. And the brutal military of the neighboring country, La Republique, that does not abide by any laws and regulations of any international norms. We don't even care to listen to that young girl at 17 age with a little child, and that they rape her. I can imagine the painful and the agony feelings that is coming. And that is the people that you wish that we should live together in the same home. A country that is lawless and that's not governed by any regulations. Our people will punish any Southern Cameroon military that abuse its own citizens. Because the goal of this military is to protect the citizens of the Southern Cameroon. And that is a regulation that we must take into practice by the people of Southern Cameroon, that no military shall enrich our own children, in which their purpose was to protect them. And that is why we will no longer be succumbed to the Republic and in any time moving forward. You remember in a hospital, a mother and children, an old adult person that seek a hospital, they may have suffering from other disease. Imagine in a hospital, the military that lack a coherent ethics of practice, a military that lack coherent ethics of practice, and they will deliberately enrose the house with fire, with petrol or kerosene, whatever they call it. You all know we call it finger. Finger is a common name we use to call for you, all of us that we have been back home. You know, when we talk about finger, we talk about those local gas that are being transported from Nigeria. Because our own land, the fuel that we produce are being transported to France to build the economy of France and against the advantages of our own local. And I am glad that Nigeria was able to sustain us with that finger. And that is why our people have been suffering for too long. Despite the fact that we are self-sufficient to produce our own oil to serve our own people and our own community. So the finger that La Republique neighboring military are using to build our hospital in our people, that we expect them to be saved. That is La Republique that you expect me to speak good about them. That is why I am telling you, fellow brothers and sisters, we are at war with the enemy, La Republique du Cameroon. La Republique need to disembark, dislodge themselves, and relocate to La Republique, and not in Southern Cameroon territory. I am here speaking to you that we are at war. When you see any La Republique enemy in our territory, know that we have an enemy within our land. and that we will not longer, in any circumstances, be romancing with the sister. Fellow brothers and sisters, we are at war. The enemy is planning. The enemy is signing a decree asking us to disarm. To disarm, when did you arm us in the first place? We are fighting for the nation, that we own our territory. Our people were never a colonial territory of yours. We simply invite you to our home. We simply invite you to our home. We did not invite you to our home to take over our territory. We did not invite you to take over our territory. We invite you as a neighbor. Just as you can prepare meal and you invite your neighbor to eat, to deal with you, that doesn't mean that your neighbor must take over your home and be the deciding figure in your home. Fellow brothers and sisters, we are at war and the enemy is preparing. But we will never surrender to our enemy. We will fight to the last person because I am here and I am here with you together. We have a commitment. So, since they are already burning our property in Southern Cameroon, it's time we eliminate every refugee of La Republique that is currently within the Southern Cameroon territory. Every refugee. Everything that bears what they call, sometimes they call the CPDF, everything that bears that emblem, everything that bears La Republique, everything that bears CF, what do you call it? CA. Somebody help me out. You know, it's been quite some time. It's called CA. Anything that bears the emblem of La Republique du Cameroun in the Southern Cameroon territory should not be seen any parameter within the Southern Cameroon territory visibility. Anything. Block every route. Prevent every movement. Every tree, every drum, every stone should be on the freeway, on the high road. Make sure they don't have access to penetrate and destroy our people until we eradicate them all out of Southern Cameroon territory. I have told you that we have a plan for the governor, because once we eliminate the head, then the rest we can catch them like guinea pig. The governor is the most target area. We are capable. We are capable. That is why I am calling all our scientists. If you live around the planet, then we need you, that we are capable to immediately execute our plan to eliminate La Republique out of the Southern Cameroon territory. We will no longer have our mothers, our girls raped, our children raped, our mother, grandmother burnt alive, our homes burnt indiscriminately, and then we shall bear and fold our arm and be watching La Republique implementing burning our people alive. No, we must take the target to the enemy penetration camp. We shall have a plan. The plan that I'm going to have, we're not going to need importation of weapons from anywhere. We're going to use our local and we're going to deal with them immediately. We're going to start demonstrating this in Yaoundé and Douala, because that is the way, if we not inflict them damage, they will not leave our territory. We have asked the world community, let La Republique dislodge and relocate to their own territory, and let our people decide the future of our people. We will not be romancing with this La Republique. We were going to start the spirit. We are going to demonstrate at night, because that from 12 midnight, we're going to take the action in Douala and in Yaoundé. We're going to demonstrate, tell them that we are capable. If they do not leave La Southern Cameroon territory, we do not invite them to come and tell us how we should live our life. Our people deserve something better. When the world is building a solid nation for their world prosperity, we have a neighboring country, La Republique, that is constantly invading our southern Cameroon territory and destroy, raping our girls, raping our mothers, raping whoever they care. No, this is the time. This is the time that we need to inflict cholesterol damage to La Republique in Yaoundé and in Douala. That is the plan. And that plan shall be executed at 12 midnight. Let them know the exact time. So the time we will be coming. 12 midnight, we will execute that plan, take corrective damage to La Republique in Douala and in Yaoundé. So they can leave our territory and let's build our nation. Our people have got enough. Our people has got enough. Because we have looked upon the international community. We look upon the United Nations. The United Nations is the most corrupted, bribed individual. You have United Nations Secretary General is living on the salary of Paul Biya. Paul Biya is paying the salary of the United Nations Secretary General. Here in the United States, the most corrupted individual. I can't imagine that is fiscally here in the United States. Antonio Guterres, the most corrupted individual, and is living in the soil of the United States. Our people are being murdered because he is the most corrupted individual. Imagine he's talking about environment. When people are in immediate danger, they're being killed, they're being roasted. But he's talking about something that has nothing to do with the time. He's absented, totally mind absent. He's not in touch with the reality. That is why those people from both ages should not be heading the United Nations. Let's have people with intelligent mind. Just imagine you have somebody 75 years old be in a theater to operate you. Imagine you have someone at 75 years in the hospital to operate you as a surgeon. Will you be there and accept that person? Because first of all, mentally started depressed, started sluggish. I would rather have a young person who is a surgeon that is capable than to have someone, people like Antonio Guterres, to be a surgeon on your surgical bed. Will you not escape? But that is the person that is making the decision for the rest of the world, who is incoherent, just like Paul Biya of Cameroon. That is the individual here in the United States, Antonio Guterres. If you have Antonio Guterres as your Surgeon General to operate you in a hospital, I'm sure you, if you cannot walk, you will escape from the surgical bed and escape because of his mental capability to operate you in a hospital. But yet we have him as the person to make decisions about the rest of the world. You get it? You have someone, Antonio Guterres, that if you were in a surgical bed in a hospital and you realize that a sick individual just came in and told you, I am going to be your surgeon, you will immediately run away from the surgical bed because you understand that at that age he's incapable of doing a surgical efficiently. But guess what? He's the one making decisions about the rest of the world. And so therefore, you cannot understand where I am coming from. Whether is he coherent to carry on such a surgery procedure? Fellow brothers, we are at war. And that the world community abandoned us and they failed to recognize the truth and speak the truth because of bribery and corruption. So that is why we gotta take our own collateral action against the enemy. Because if we are waiting for Antonio Guterres, the chief architect of bribery in the current century, imagine that the United Nations High Commissioner for Refugees is living on a salary paid by Paul Biya regime in Cameroon. Then you expect that same body to make a decision about the people of Southern Cameroon, and you give me what he or she is going to make. when that 7 individual is living on the salary paid by that neighboring country, La Republique. And that is why the world body is the most corrupted body that one can ever realize on this planet. Fellow brothers, we are not going to let this go. We are not going to let this go. We are at war. We are at war. We need to face the enemy. We need to take the damage. We need to take the collateral damage to La Republique. First, we start inflicting it in Douala and in Yaoundé. And when we begin to inflict this collateral damage to La Republique in La Republique, then they will abandon our territory so that we can be able to manage our territory. We will never be in a colonial territory. We simply invite La Republique in our home, but yet they become the murdering of our people, raping of our young girls. You all understand the feeling. You all understand the feeling. You all understand the feeling. When a young Southern Cameroon were raped, after raping her, they asked her to crawl in the mud. And these were the young girls that were raped. And after raping them, they asked them to crawl in the mud. You all understand that when we say our safe environment must be protected for our young girls. Imagine a girl and being asked to swim in the mud, and the bacteria that are penetrating into her skin tissue, and that will cause a collateral damage. And that is the people we are asking La Republique to protect our people when they are instead inflicting a collateral damage, asking our young girl to swim in the mud. Then you must be mentally damaged to ask me to stand and ask La Republique to be part of our country. Boy, you must be wrong in this aspect. You must be wrong in this aspect. You must be wrong in this aspect. You must be wrong. You have the European Union. The European Union is not even aware, because French president is protecting that the crisis should not be discussed in the European Union, because Africa is the source of their raw material to feed them. That is why the British ambassador in La Republique, are able to go onto the major media and declare that the gas exploitation will provide benefit to both La Republique and Great Britain. Ignore that the people of Southern Cameroon have been murdered indiscriminately, as though the ambassador is brain dead. The ambassador of Great Britain said the gas exploitation and the deal they signed is going to benefit the both nations. But the people of Southern Cameroon have been murdered indiscriminately. At least over 400,000 are living in Nigeria, and some are living in the forest. And the jail prison of La Republique is all being a house of the Southern Cameroon territory. But British is more interested in gas. You all watch. The court in Britain declare itself that is incompetent to hear a case about the Southern Cameroon, but they fail to understand that it was Britain that took the document of the Southern Cameroon and handed it over to La Republique and ignored the confidence of the people of Southern Cameroon government. They ignored the people of the Southern Cameroon government. They took the document of the Southern Cameroon instead to hand over to the people of Southern Cameroon. Let them keep it in their own archive. Instead, they handed to La Republique du Cameroon, as though they are not trust our people. They trust a Francophone territory. And now their own court declare itself incompetent to hear a case about what Britain did to the people of Southern Cameroon. And that United Nations is capable. Britain is a permanent secretary, is a permanent member at the Security Council. Britain is a permanent member at the Security Council. Britain asked to, the court should have asked, refer the case. This is what the court should have done. The court in Great Britain that declared itself incompetent should have asked the Foreign Secretary. The court should have referred the case to the Foreign Secretary to table at the Britain ambassador to the United Nations. Since the court is incapable and Britain is a permanent member of the Security Council, therefore, they should ask the permanent representative to table the case at the United Nations. That since we can't hear this case because we are incompetent, then let the British ambassador table the case at the United Nations. That we have a problem here, and that we have a problem here, that the decision we made was wrong, and that let the United Nations hear the case. But instead, he declared himself as incompetent, as though he had no ruling over the British Foreign Secretary. Let the British Foreign Secretary direct the case to the British ambassador to the United Nations that we have a problem here. My people that I misconstrue, I hand over the document to the wrong person, La Republique, and that we need a hearing in this matter. This is what a nation must have done. Do the right thing at the right time, at the right moment. Do the right thing at the right time, at the right moment. Fellow brothers and sisters, we are at war. We are at war. The enemy think they are smart, but unfortunately, we are the smartest people. We will no longer be romancing with La Republique, asking us to drop our weapons. Have they dropped their weapons? We are a nation. Article 1608 of XV of the United Nations created the Southern Cameroon as a sovereign nation. And in 1960, United Nations created La Republique and let every individual stand for their sovereignty. Let La Republique repatriate back to La Republique, because we are going to be heading to Yaoundé. We are heading to La Republique. If we haven't learned about the clustering of bombs, I think it's time that we need to start learning. Where are all our scientists? If you are a scientist and you know where you are, we know you are, that you are a scientist. I think it's time you start consulting us that we need to take colossal damage to La Republique immediately. We need to take colossal damage. We have our leader that were adopted indiscriminately from Nigeria. Remember, when Enugu House of Assembly, when James Foncha was there, they were never adopted, they were never arrested, but they have the freedom to walk into Nigeria and debate the issues affecting the people of Southern Cameroon. And they have the ability to walk out of Nigeria without any insult from the Nigerian government. They have to walk out without insult from the Nigerian government. But today, our people, our leader, our cabinet are indiscriminately adopted and put into La Republique because they have military. Fellow brothers, let's start preparing for colossal damage to Yaoundé. Let's begin Yaoundé and Douala. We begin to bring down every installation down. Every installation, 12 midnight installation at any corner in La Republique, we need to start bringing them down, because that is the way moving forward. Every installation in La Republique, we need to start bringing them down, because once we don't do so, they will continue to inflict colossal damage to our territory. We have waited for international community. They have abandoned us. But since they have abandoned us, let's take action. Let's take action. We cannot be imposed to control us by a foreign nation. No. No. That can never happen. Let's begin a colossal damage to La Republique, Yaoundé, and Douala. Every their installations, let's start bringing those installations down in every capacity. We are capable. We don't need Oslo to do the collateral damage. We have a very simple technique that we start bringing all their installations. Once we start bringing all those installations down, then they will realize that they are living with a different nations that they occupy, they claim to be occupied, asking us to drop our weapons. Have they dropped their own weapons? Have they? Every installation in La Republique, we need to start bringing them down. 12 midnight is the target area. We're going to talk about how we're going to do it, because we are capable. We're not going to import Oslo from Russia. We're not going to export this. We will use the local mix, and we're going to bring them down. Because if we don't start teach them a lesson. They will never realize that they were inhabiting, they got to the wrong wife. They got to the wrong wife. That we are a female. We are not a female. We are actually a male. Male. Fellow brothers and sisters, we are at war. We are at war. And every angle in southern Cameroon, make sure that every angle is blocked. Every angle, penetration in and out should be shut down completely. Bridges, the bridge, the Mongol bridge, we need to bring it down. We are capable to do so. We're capable to bring that Mongol bridge and the Santa bridge and any other bridges that link the southern Cameroon with this terrorist government of La Republique of Biya. We got to get together and bring every installation. And we begin by Douala and Yaoundé. Once we start bringing those installations, then they will realize that all that their governors, divisional officers, the military commander that they think they have, but we are smarter than La Republique. Fellow brothers and sisters, I can assure you, we will no longer be bargaining with La Republique. We have to take action, action now. And I want to thank you. And for those who are in the Dallas community, I want to let you know that Dallas, Denton, and Fort Worth, that acting president of Republic of Amazonia, Dr. Sako, is visiting this community today. And if you have time, then you need to look the locations. I'm going to be posting the information. I think the information is already on my Facebook. And so if you live around this community, make sure that that you will be heading there. And Dr. Ebenezer Akwanga will also be accompanying him in these delegations. Fellow brothers, I'm going to be seeing you today, this evening. I wish you all a happy and wonderful year. This is 1st of December, the first year of this end of year of 2018. We are at war. Fellow brothers and sisters, join me. We need to get La Republique out of the Southern Cameroon territory. We're no longer having our young girls in their prime sexually assaulted by the military of La Republique and ask them to swim in mud. No, we are male and that we must stand and let go of La Republique. I want to take the time to thank all of you that are watching. I wish you a happy and a wonderful day. From Don Daniel speaking here from the great state of Texas, here in the United States. Bye. I see. Good morning. Good morning. Greetings. How you all doing this morning?